What is going on? Brian Carroll here at PowerXStrength.com HQ, coming to you today answering more questions. This one is sports specific. Brian, what do you know about minimal strength for professional sports, for instance, like hockey or football or baseball? Now, first I want to say that I haven't worked with a ton of baseball players. I've worked with a few of them. I've worked with more football players and hockey players. And I actually spoke at the NFL Strength and Conditioning Coaches Summit in 2018 and the NHL Strength and Conditioning Coaches Summit later that year in June of 2018. And I got to know some of these coaches. I got to talk with them. And I got to spend some time studying what they do even a couple years before I spoke to these coaches. So it's just going to depend on the position. Football, it varies a great deal. Because you have giant linemen, you have skill people, you have quarterbacks, you have special teams, linebackers. So sometimes you're surprised at how strong these guys are. Other times you're pretty underwhelmed. So I had a conversation specifically with the person that organized the NHL summit that we did in June of 2018 in Orlando. And the study showed this: someone that can bench press at least 275 does not have any bit of deficiencies as far as upper body strength for a hockey player. If they bench less than that, they're at a little bit of a deficit and it does hurt their performance. But anyone that benches over 275 to 300, the people that were in the 300 range, they had nothing to stand to gain from that, because that was all they needed, is about a 275 bench press for minimal strength. Now, I've been in many NFL strength training rooms, and I've seen how strong some of these guys are. I've seen many of them bench 500 pounds raw. They typically squat on a higher box if they're doing things right, in my opinion. Football players don't need to sit their butt on the ground. It's generally a high box, depending on, they're a 6'8" offensive lineman. They don't need to squat ass to grass parallel. They need to squat on a high box just so they keep the form and keep their back loaded, using their hips and not getting all, cat backed and everything and hurting $1 million player. So I don't know what minimal strength would be for a football player, because it's a totally different sport. Most people that I've encountered, they do bench in the 300-pound range in the NFL, all the way up to 500 pounds. Sometimes the quarterbacks bench over 400 pounds. Sometimes the linebackers barely bench 315. It's really all over the place. I've seen some guys bench or pull really big on the trap bar, 500 and 600 pounds in the NFL. Then I've seen other linebackers and people that you would think are really strong struggle to pull 315 off the blocks with the hex bar. So it's really all over the place. I don't have any hard data, but it isn't a strength sport. It is about being strong and athletic, but it isn't just about how much you could bench press or squat or deadlift. Now, I mentioned the metric in the NHL when they studied this quite a few years ago. A minimum of a 275 bench press helped players. Any more than that didn't really help them, but pressing less than that did tend to hurt them. So at the end of the day, you do need minimal strength for your sport, whether you're fighting, whether you're playing basketball. So at the end of the day, I don't know what it is, but obviously it's going to depend on the position, what the goals are, and just how gifted you are athletically. It's kind of all over the board. So I wish I had better information for you about what minimal strength should be for professional sports, but I can tell you, a lot of the guys that I've rolled around with in the UFC, they don't lift very much weight, but they are extremely strong and they will smash you. It's a different type of squeezing strength versus a pressing or pulling or squatting strength. The way they know how to use their leverages, their core is so strong. So I think a better way of measuring fighters would be their core stiffness, how they can turn over their hips and all that good stuff. But as far as weight metrics, the only one that I have is the hockey. So hope that helps a little bit, but everyone's going to be different. You have outliers benching 500 pounds as a running back, and then you have linebackers barely benching 315 in the NFL. It's really pretty interesting. So hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed this video, and have a wonderful day.